All right, welcome back. We have Noelle Okwedy right now on the phone lines. The virtual network seems to be having a problem this morning. Hello, Noelle, and how are you doing?
Hi, Nancy. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you at least for standing by. Sometimes
No
technology is
problem.
not just your friend. It just, tries to misbehave when you want it to behave. All right, let's get started. A few days ago, OPEC met and did increase Nigeria's oil production quota. Before the meeting, what were your expectations?
Okay, thanks, Nancy. Yes, OPEC Plus increased Nigeria's quota. Um, it's been increased from 1.799 million barrels per day for July to about 1.826 for August and 1.830 for September. So this means that Nigeria is supposed to increase production, but generally OPEC Plus has increased the quota production levels for all its member countries by 100,000 barrels per day. This 100,000 barrels was split across the countries that make up OPEC Plus. So people were expecting a larger increase because of the current state of the global oil and gas, of the global oil industry, where global oil supply is lower than demand, partly because of the Russia-Ukraine crisis, where Russia, which is one of the top oil producers in the world, isn't able to produce as much, and also because of issues within OPEC. And one of those issues affects Nigeria. So we're seeing that Nigeria's production in 2022 has been really low. Our average so far for the year between January and June has been around 1.2 million barrels per day, compared to our target now, which is 1.8 million barrels. So even our ability to meet that isn't certain. So yeah, that's just the state of what's happening currently.
Noel, you know that the late Mohammed Barakindo was the Secretary General and he passed just a few days to the end of his tenure. OPEC has a new Secretary General now. The Kuwait is from Kuwait. Al-Gahis, that is Atiam Al-Gahis. He will be there for 3 years, and perhaps if his tenure is renewed, an additional 3 years. What do you think about this? I don't think we've discussed since Barakindo's passing. What do you think about this? The new Secretary General assumed office, I think, on the 1st of August.
Okay, so with the new Secretary General, I don't think that we expect anything different. OPEC Plus is still interested in making sure that the global oil market is conducive for its members, and that means that making sure that the price is right by controlling how much they produce. So the late Secretary General, he led OPEC at an uncertain time, especially during COVID when oil prices went down to the most they've ever gone down. And then we also saw production dip because of obviously global lockdowns. And now the situation is still pretty dire because we're seeing what's happening with global demand and supply, where like supply is much less and demand is growing. But then it's benefiting the OPEC plus countries because Saudi Arabia has a budget surplus of about $20 billion. All the countries are supposed to be making money. So right now they're trying to see how they can control the price, keep the price high, but not too high, but also make sure that it doesn't fall. So I wasn't expecting a significant increase, and yes, and we didn't get that. So it's just in line with what we expected OPEC to do.
Let's come to Nigeria and talk about the inadequacy we've had, at least in the last few months. We've not been producing up to our production, our quota. And I guess this is also the first time, if my memory serves me right, at least since I have been on this business bit, I haven't seen that OPEC increased our quota. At the same time, we have higher oil prices. And at the same time, Nigeria is not gaining from high production volume and high price of oil. So what do you think about this? This is the first time, isn't it, Noel?
Yes, it's the first time, and it's just a perfect storm of events, or can I say like the worst storm, not even perfect in this case, because like you said, oil prices are high, so we should be making a lot of money, just like Saudi Arabia and the rest of the OPEC plus countries are doing. But then we now have two issues. Our production is lower than it's ever been. In May, our production was just barely 1 million barrels per day. At this point, we're barely producing any oil because our optimal capacity is usually like around 2 million barrels per day. So we're doing like 50% of our capacity. And then, of course, we have the subsidy bill, which is even taking up the revenue that we're even managing to even produce from oil. So you have like a double-edged sword there, where oil prices are high. Nigeria should be making money, but we're not producing enough. We're spending more on subsidy because, as you know, the higher oil prices are, the higher the cost of petrol, the market price of petrol, and the higher the subsidy bill for the NNPC and the Nigerian government. So yeah, that's what's happening there. It's just a really bad time for Nigeria when it should be a good time.
Is there a way we can remedy this? Because it seems that all the economic challenges are just coming under this administration, you know. We're not producing up to what we should produce. Just a few months ago, we're producing less than 1 million. Pipeline vandalism, oil theft, and all of that has been attributed to why we're producing the volume we are producing right now. And the issue is that oil price is over $100, and we're not making any money from this, you know. Are there remedies to this challenge?
So yes, there are remedies, of course, but it depends on how eager the people in power are to solve these problems. So with oil theft and vandalism, the scale of theft that we're seeing is astronomical, and it's at a scale that we haven't seen before. The Minister of State for Petroleum released a statement recently that we're losing as much as 400,000 barrels per day, which I'm sure is even more considering how far we've fallen from our optimal production. So we have to do it's going to take hard work, like finding the people that are responsible for this theft, because there are people that are responsible and there are people that are aware of who is carrying out this theft. I don't know them, but I'm sure that there are people that know, and there are security measures that we can take to make sure that our pipelines are secure, our oil assets are secure, investing in better infrastructure, investing in technology, using drones, monitoring systems to make sure that our systems are secure, like I said. And then on the subsidy end, we're spending a lot of money to sustain the subsidy that isn't even really contributing to the Nigerian economy. So that just means that it just takes making hard decisions, taking out the subsidy, saving money at a time when Nigeria is borrowing. We heard the other day that the excess crude account has depleted to less than $400,000 from its peak of $20 billion. It's actually crazy that we're going through this at a time when oil prices are high. So it just means making the hard decisions to protect our assets and take out the subsidy.
Noelle, for me, okay, you're saying that it depends on the government in power. And this government in power, the president is the Minister of Petroleum Resources. How much political will do you think that the president should come up with at this time? Bearing in mind that if he's not careful the way he is, his administration might not get to the end May 29, 2023. Why? Because the revenues are decreasing. If we continue at this rate, do you still think that Nigeria's oil revenue will be there? NNPC, of course, has not remitted money in months, apart from what they did say just a few weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, that they gave $2.7 billion to the Central Bank of Nigeria. What do you make out of all of this? Since the president is the Minister of Petroleum, and the way we are right now is as if we don't even have a Minister of Petroleum. And at the beginning, everybody hailed, oh, it's good, President Buhari should be the Minister of Petroleum, and now we're seeing a whole lot of things happening around that sector.
Yes, thank you, Nancy. So I think that on the one hand, obviously I can't speak for the president, but we have to decide how important oil revenue is to us. So, and we know that it's very important to the Nigerian economy. It's our major source of forex, it's our major export. It's a major source of government revenue. So we have to decide if oil is really as important as we think it is, or as we say it is, then we need to protect that revenue. I don't think it's as complicated as it's becoming. It's just a matter of will and having the resolve to just see it through and just fix the issues that are happening. Because the issue of theft and vandalism, I mean, it's about security and it's about securing pipelines and identifying the people that are carrying out these activities. Nigeria is not the first country to have to deal with vandalism and theft. Mexico had to deal with this, and what they did was that they just got their security agents, their military, to root out people that were stealing, and it turned out that there were some people in power that were involved. They invested in technology heavily, drones, made smart pipelines. Yeah.
Noelle, if you can hear me, I would say this is where we'll end.